What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMoviescreens.com, and I got another movie to review for you guys, and that would be Brigsby Bear. Now, full disclosure, I saw this movie back in April, and I had to sit on this movie for 4 months before I could even discuss it. It was kind of like a test screening just to kind of see what critics were thinking and whatnot, and they did this all around the country. Dallas was one of the cities that they did this kind of pop-up screening in, and I attended it, and I gotta tell you, I absolutely love it, and it's still one of my favorites of the year so far, and that's why I wanted to wait to do this review 4 months later to see if it would actually hold up on my top 10, which it does. It's charming, it's quirky, it's got dry humor, and it's got a character that might seem a little bit annoying on paper, but he's a really great kind of like character to follow, and you are rooting for him every single step of the way, and he's played brilliantly by Kyle Mooney. So let's get real and break this down. So just right off the bat, I got to bring this up. At the start of the movie, you know how like they have like the production names and whatnot from like the production houses that were involved in making the film? Well, they have a Lonely Island Classics banner that happens in front of the movie, so it looks like the Lonely Island is going to tap into more kind of like smaller indie films as well to kind of grow their brand. And I thought it was funny, but the irony is also it's also the best thing they've ever done as well. So it might seem like a joke, but it's the best thing they've ever put their name on. And I actually love the movies that they're always associated with. So this one tells the story of Kyle Mooney's character, who's kind of like a man-child, and he's in his mid-20s, and his parents shelter him from the world. They don't want him to be going out talking to people because we don't need to socialize. We don't need to do that to our son. So the only thing he knows from the outside world is this TV show called Brigsby Bear, which equivalent to our universe is like a Barney type of show, where you have like this kid type of show. It's obviously like on a stage, and you have this giant person or giant bear, someone in a bear costume kind of running around, spouting off a bunch of wisdom and whatnot. And so that's all he knows. And so something happens at the end of Act 1, which I will not even spoil because IMDb puts in its plot synopsis. I went into this movie blind, and it kind of caught me off guard, so I'm going to let you guys let it catch you off guard as well. So something happens to Kyle Mooney's character, and then he ventures off and he tries to make a Brigsby Bear movie because that's the only thing he knows in this world, and he wants to do this. It's like his last like connection, he feels like, to a world that he once knew. Let's just put it like that before I go any further with spoilers. And so going into it, like I said, I didn't read up anything about it. I just knew that Kyle Mooney was in it. I know Beck Bennett was in it, Greg Kinnear, Claire Danes, Matt Walsh. It's got a nice little group of actors and actresses and whatnot. So I was curious, and I wasn't disappointed because the whole thing with this movie that makes it so charming is its humor. It's kind of like dry humor. It's quirkiness. It's definitely got like this unique voice that you would, when you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like you'll leave and you'll be like, yeah, like that was Brigsby Bear. Like there was nothing else like that. It was just, that was its own entity, and I really appreciate that. It stood on its own as something being wholly original, and I really just dug it. And on top of that, the writing is really well done too. When you have these characters, especially with Kyle Mooney's character, he could seem annoying on paper, but Kyle Mooney did such a great job of capturing that innocence to where like you felt for him. You felt everything that was happening to him, all the changes that was happening into his life, and he completely sells that with his acting. His performance is really great. Like I said, he plays like this like innocence a little bit, like almost like a child. And there's also a couple moments in the movie where he's able to deliver like these dramatic kind of pulls, and you're like, that's what I was looking for. That is a complete package right there. A complete performance from Mr. Mooney. Everyone else does a good job. Beck Bennett, one of his buddies on SNL, they do a lot of kind of digital short-esque skits on SNL, and it's always like equipped with like their weird dry humor. And Beck Bennett does kind of add that to it, but he also plays a pivotal role, I guess. And of course, Greg Kinnear and Claire Danes and whatnot. Everyone just does a really great job. Oh, and Mark Hamill's in it. Totally forgot. Whoops. But no, everyone seems like they're really committing to this kind of like weird movie on paper, but they really kind of bring these characters to life, and they feel like characters you would see down the street, and I really appreciate that. It felt, just all their performances felt natural. The way it was shot was also really great, and I really liked the fake Brigsby Bear show that they filmed. It felt like an actual kid show that would like pop up on Nickelodeon or whatever. So I really appreciate the attention to detail that they captured, either with the cinematography or production design or costumes or whatnot, props, and make it look like a legit show that ran on TV at some point. So I give them props on that. It's a very like brisk movie. There's nothing like really in the story that kind of drags or whatever. It's a very tightly knit, airtight type of story. Nothing is wasted, and I enjoyed it from start to finish. And at the very end, it's almost like this poignant moment for Kyle Mooney's character. And like I shed a tear. I don't think I almost did. I think I did. I shed a tear, and I'm almost shedding a tear almost talking about this. Just seeing his work on the big screen. And knowing like all this passion that he put in there, and knowing that this was it's like the only thing he's ever loved and the only thing he's ever known about life. There was something poignant about that, and it really struck a chord with me. So, see, look, I just shed a tear. So I firmly believe it's one of the best films of the year. A lot of people look at me weird and say, "Really, Brigsby Bear? That little film, Lonely Island Classics?" No, it's really charming. The performances are really great. The humor is spot on. The story, it feels very rich and very relatable for some weird reason. Like it just everything about it I connected with, and it was delivered on a very just well done scale that I can't refute. It's one of the best of the year for sure. No, another tear. Just this movie. I guess like if I had like some nitpicks, is that some of the dry humor was a little too dry, and it wasn't my style. Because with Kyle Mooney and Beck Bennett, their skits on SNL are hit and miss. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like sometimes when they hit, it really hits, but when they miss, it doesn't really work. And that's some of the humor here. But for the most part, I really love this movie. And I'm gonna shock everyone, but I'm gonna give Brigsby Bear an A. For what it was trying to go for, and for what it was trying to do, I thought it delivered in spades, and I just enjoyed myself from start to finish. It's good stuff. Now, like I said, people are going to look at it and be like, really, this is like top 10 material? It's just my preference. It's one of those like weird, quirky movies that just struck a really good chord with me, and it might be too offbeat for you. I have no clue, but for me, it worked. Everything about it worked. So I sat on it for 4 months, and here's my review finally, and it still is in my top 10 for sure. So have you seen Brigsby Bear, or have you even heard of it? Comment a place with my face to let me know. And as always, guys, I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.